Episode 1, Celine. Ladies and gentlemen, we're nearing our arrival. The pilot's voice crackles overhead.
Welcome to Amara.
Before we begin, if you are new here,
Subscribe. No excuses.
and if you want early access to the next story for name-only charge, tap Join Now. Members get every story's early access. Another huge welcome to our newest member, Alicia Haley, for joining the Mafia family. Thank you for your support. We're thrilled to have you with us.
Kindly gather your personal items and fasten your seatbelts. I stay frozen. I physically can't move. Outside, the clouds burst into searing brightness, then dissolve into endless white. My hands are clenched around the armrest and tears streak my face, but I have no memory of when they started falling. I'm the last one off the plane, and only because the flight attendants practically lift me out of my seat. Dragging my bag behind me, I move down the jet bridge in a haze. My feet carry me forward, but everything else, my thoughts, my heart, feels left behind. Maybe back in Seattle, maybe somewhere over the Midwest, suspended in air. Nothing makes sense until I see her. A face that's as familiar as breathing, marked with the same kind of broken. Celine! My mom rushes toward me, wrapping me in her arms. The scent of rosewater and rain clings to her, comforting and gut-wrenching all at once. I missed you so much. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Me too. My voice is barely a sound. It's all I can manage. Then my dad pulls us both into an awkward, tight hug. His words fall heavy. We've missed you, Celine. It's good to have you home. Just like that, the years we didn't speak vanish, or at least pretend to. A silent desk agent hands us a box of tissues as we walk toward the exit. Buffalo hits hard. The cold wind slices like glass, the air reeks of diesel and old salt, and the sky looms overhead like a slab of concrete. My mom slides into the back seat with me. Her hand finds mine and doesn't let go, her grip tightening like she's afraid I'll vanish. Every turn my dad takes has me scanning the rearview mirror. I keep looking for something. Black cars, men in tailored suits, a signal I've been followed. There's nothing but gray streets and thick silence. Still, my skin prickles like something isn't right, like I dragged something invisible back with me. When we finally pull up to the house, it's exactly as I left it. The old colonial still stands with its peeling shutters and creaky porch. The street is lined with skeletal maple trees and mailboxes with flags that don't stay shut. It's all the same, like time-pressed pause just for this place. My mom gets out first, brushing snow off my jacket as she opens the door. "Should I even ask?" she says gently. "Are the tears about Adrian?" "No," I hesitate. "That ended a while ago. We're divorced." "What?" Her eyes sharpen. "Divorced." I don't soften it. "Finalized months ago?" They give each other a look, the kind I've seen 100 times. I don't have the energy to ask what it means. I can't keep pretending to be okay, I mutter. "I'm done." "Let's get you to bed," she says, guiding me up the stairs. When we reach my old room, I stop in the doorway. It's untouched, same narrow bed, same corkboard with pinholes like old scars, same hideous curtains I swore I'd burn when I turned 18. It's like nothing ever changed, like some old version of me still lives here clutching a journal and dreaming of escape. "We're here when you're ready," Mom whispers. I nod. She closes the door behind her. I collapse face down onto the bed. The sheets smell like detergent and dust and lost time. And then I come undone. Not loudly. Just enough to soak the pillow. The sobs stay tucked inside, too scared to make noise. They don't stop, don't ease. They only blur the edges until sleep drags me under like a current. Later. A soft vibration hums against the mattress. I roll over, eyes bleary. "Ryder!" For a split second, I think about opening the message, about seeing what he could possibly say now, but the memory of our last fight is too fresh, too sharp. I don't trust his words, not anymore. I hit ignore and place the phone face down on the nightstand. It rings again. Still him. It keeps ringing, again and again, until finally, silence. I flip the phone over and check my messages. Ryder, please, just leave me alone. I promise I'll do the same. Just as I'm about to power it off, one more message lights the screen. Ryder, I'll never make a promise I can't keep.
Episode 2. Ryder. 1 week later. Montlake Musical Academy for the Gifted. The iron gates part as the academy comes into view. Ivy-covered walls, stone pillars, and the kind of luxury that breathes money with every square foot. Isla presses her face to the glass, eyes gleaming with wonder, humming under her breath. "Half an hour from the estate," I say, guiding the car through the looped drive. Close enough that I can keep her safe. Distant enough for her to believe she's free. I don't know if this setup will work long-term, but her smile makes me believe it's worth the risk. She unclicks her seatbelt before the car fully stops. "Is Miss Hart coming to dinner this weekend?" she asks, twisting to face me, hope lighting up her face. "No." My hands tighten around the wheel. "She quit." "Oh." Her gaze drops to the front doors. She didn't even say goodbye. I pause, then clear my throat. "She left a letter, remember?" Isla gives a small nod, her fingers gripping the handle. "I know, but it's not the same." I don't have a response to that. Instead, I switch on the hazard lights to fill the silence with action. "Did you pack your red shoes for the showcase?" She nods again, this time slower. Her shoulders pull inward as she clutches her violin case. Neither of us speaks. The quiet feels heavier than usual. As she reaches for the door, I lean over. "One last thing," I say. "What's your name?" "Isla Ivy." She rolls her eyes but smiles. "And the Rochester is silent, correct? And my stage name?" "Miss Ivy or Miss Isla Ivy," she recites. "No Rochester unless it's paperwork. Or with you." I nod, though my chest tightens. Some dads teach their daughters how to ride a bike. I taught mine how to vanish. We step out, walking together toward the entrance. Her instructor stands ready, beaming. "It's an honor to meet you, Miss Ivy," she says. "I've heard so much about your talent." Can't believe I get to teach one of the best young violinists alive. Isla blushes, pleased, and follows her down the hall. Halfway to the end, she turns back and waves. "See you at home, Dad." Her grin is brighter than it's been in weeks. "See you soon, Isla." I wait until she rounds the corner before I leave. 3 of my men remain, one near the front, one by the surveillance hub, one patrolling the halls. If I keep it like this, she'll be safe. She has to be. Later that day. Red and blue lights pulse against the rust-stained siding of the warehouse, glinting off wet asphalt and dark water lapping the pier's edge. I let the car idle, engine humming low as I scan the scene. Paramedics stand outside, their stretchers untouched. Cops huddle around the old freezer, one I should have tossed years ago. Their stances are stiff, unsure. One kneels to pry it open. Another barks into his radio, voice clipped and formal. They're expecting something bad. Someone called in the smell, thinking they were doing a good thing. But they won't find anything. Austin Blaine's body is long gone. Only the sour trace of death lingers. I step out, lean against the car, and light a cigar, watching the scene unfold. Footsteps echo behind me, heels clicking slow, intentional, dramatic. I know that cadence. Rachel Voss walks like she thinks confidence is sexy enough to compensate for everything she lacks. "You know what this is about," she says from behind. "That's why you're here, right?" Watching the fallout. "No, just out for a drive." "Of course." She stops 5 feet from me, waiting for me to turn. I don't. I take another pull from the cigar. "Let me cut to it," she says with a smile in her tone. "We don't have it all, but we have enough. You're finally mine." "Didn't I turn you down weeks ago, Miss Voss?" "That hasn't changed." "We can do this the easy way or the hard way, Mr. Rochester." "Your choice." Silence stretches. Then I hear the clink of metal. Handcuffs. She's holding them out, like she's offering a prize. Behind her, I spot the 2 officers, stationed just right. Witnesses, but distant enough to let her take the lead. She doesn't believe in the charges. She believes in the performance, the press, the illusion of power. Let her have her moment. "Didn't think bondage was your thing," I say, finally turning. "Do they know you tried to sleep with me?" "Edward Rochester." Her voice cuts like a blade. "You're under arrest for racketeering and witness tampering. Drop the cigar, hands behind your back."
Episode 3. Celine. My old bedroom has become a sanctuary. The mattress, my only constant. My phone's buried deep in a desk drawer, shut off and locked in a metal box. Anything to keep myself from checking it. I pull the blankets tighter and shift positions, hoping maybe today I'll feel strong enough to step outside. But maybe this pain in my chest isn't heartbreak. Maybe it's something worse. Regret. "You're safe now, Celine," a voice says gently. "You're going to be okay, for good." I open my eyes to see Tessa perched on the edge of my bed. "What are you doing here?" I sit up slowly. "How'd you even know I was back?" "Call it a hunch," she says. "I didn't know when exactly you'd wake up and realize what he really was. But I knew you would." My heart's still stuck somewhere between guilt and longing. I can't agree with her, not yet. "Want to grab breakfast?" I ask. I could inhale a waffle and drown it in coffee. "Absolutely. I'll wait for you downstairs." She slips out of the room, and I toss the covers off, stretching to loosen the tightness in my chest. It doesn't help. Tears are close. "Hold it together, Celine. Just hold on." I pull a hoodie over my head and head to the bathroom. A splash of cold water. A half-hearted smile in the mirror as I brush my teeth, but Ryder's voice still echoes in my head like a warped record stuck on repeat. "I told you what this was from the beginning." Before the spiral returns, I shut off the light and head downstairs. Tessa is poking through the kitchen cupboards. "No waffle mix anywhere," she announces. "Want to hit Gale's real quick?" I nod and follow her to the car, sleepwalking through the motions. When she starts the engine, a pink and coral keychain swings from the ignition, the same one she once pressed into my hand. "Keep it on your keys." "Never take it off." I swallow, hard. Thankfully, she doesn't force conversation on the drive. By the time we park, I've steadied myself a little. We order matching waffles, and after she runs through a stream of celebrity gossip I won't remember, I finally ask, "Back at the house, you said I'm safe for life now. What did you mean? That you're not going to vanish or end up dead. Could you be a little less cryptic?" "Edward Rochester." She places a hand over mine. I jerk slightly. "You mean Ryder?" She shrugs. "Whatever name he's using." I go still. "He was arrested last week," she says. "He's not getting out. Not for a long time." "What?" My fork slips from my fingers. "You didn't know." "No." My voice cracks. "How would I?" She tilts her head. "Don't you still. Never mind. It hasn't gone public yet, but it will. They arrested him outside a warehouse near his property. Kept it quiet to nab a few more people first." I stare at her. Something about her delivery is too smooth, too practiced. How do you know all of this? Are you sure it's true? She nods. I've been keeping tabs since you told me about him. Quietly, using old databases, stuff I still have backdoor access to. Just watching. Just in case. Monitoring. She says it like it's nothing. I nod, but a knot begins to form in my chest. My throat tightens. How long will he be gone? Life. She doesn't flinch. He belongs in a place like that, Celine. Don't waste a second on him. What about Adele? Who? I bite my tongue. Did you say Adele? She laughs. Bit late for her residency, don't you think? You're seriously the weird one now. I give a small nod, relieved she drops it. You'll find someone better, she says. You already did the hard part, leaving him. That's everything. He wasn't a monster. I take a few small bites of waffle, forcing them down. Here. She hands me a sparkly keychain. Pepper spray. Why? She shrugs. You don't have a weapon. Figured it's better than nothing. I sigh. I hate to cut this short, but I'm exhausted, I say, barely keeping it together. Can we reschedule? Of course. She smiles and waves for the check. I should probably pretend I still work for a living. I laugh, an actual laugh, for the first time in weeks. She drops me off and I head back to my room. That night, sleep won't come. Something feels wrong. A faint buzz cuts through the quiet, soft, uneven, like static on an old radio. I freeze, holding my breath as it swells again. It's not outside, not in the hallway, not my phone. I sit up, eyes scanning the room. It disappears, then pulses again, sharper now. Then something in my purse hums in sync. I move slowly, cautious. My heart hammers in my chest. It's probably nothing. A phone charger dying, a rogue app. But when I unzip the bag, I see it. The pink and coral keychain from weeks ago. It's glowing faintly. A white light pulses from within. I set it on my desk and dig out the one she gave me this morning. It's blinking, too. Perfect sync. Neither have buttons. No obvious switch. Just light and that unsettling hum. Something's not right. I can't trust myself to look this up. Not now. Not when my thoughts are already unraveling. I stash both in a sunglasses case, grab my dad's keys, and drive to a sketchy pawnshop a couple towns over. The guy behind the counter looks half dead, but perks up when I show him. He picks up one of the keychains, turning it over slowly. Want me to crack it open? Please. He works in silence, a tiny tool in hand. When it clicks apart, I see the inside. Wires, circuits, a mic chip, a transmitter. Well, he says, leaning into the lamp, this isn't pepper spray. It's a tracker, and it's got a mic. High-end stuff. My mouth goes dry. Do you sell these? He chuckles. Not a chance. This is government grade, FBI level. Serious money. Not something you pick up online. I don't speak. Can't move. He pulls out a cheap knockoff from a drawer and sets it beside mine. That's what most creeps use. Yours? Yours is made to watch and listen long term, without being caught. I feel the ground shift beneath me. I thank him, I think, and drive home in a blur. Back at my desk, I force my shaking hands to crack open the second one. Same build, same components. No doubt now. She said it was for my safety. Said it was almost lethal. Told me to never lose it. And I believed her. I carried it with me through everything. Through every moment with Ryder. Every word. Every breath. Every secret. She heard it all. She saw it all. She's been watching from the beginning. I stare at the broken pieces scattered across my desk. Clean, precise, soulless. This wasn't about protection. It was control. Episode 4. Celine. One by one, I drop the keychains into the sink. Water roars down the drain, fast and relentless, like it's trying to scrub the betrayal off my skin. I stay still. The faucet's screech drowns out the questions spiraling in my head. Did I help get him caught? When I finally power on my phone, there's nothing from Ryder, just texts from Adele and Tessa. Adele, I miss you, Miss Hart. Please text me back. I want you to hear my new piece. Why did you leave without saying goodbye? Tessa. Hey, sleepyhead, call me when you're up. Quick thing, I think some of the pepper sprays I gave you might be defective. Mind spraying them outside to double check? Would hate for you to be unprotected if something actually happened. B. Itch. My hands are trembling. I want to erase her from my life, but I won't tip my hand. I won't give her the satisfaction of knowing I know. If Ryder were still free, I'd ask him to make her vanish. She loved flaunting his power. She could live with fearing it too. Me? Yeah, I dropped my purse in the tub. They're drenched, just letting them dry. Tessa. Ugh. Hate when that happens. I sent you a few more. They should have arrived already. Be sure to carry one when you go out. Me? Sure, thanks a bunch. Tessa. Always love. I roll my eyes. Before Ryder, I probably would have swallowed every word she said. I rename her in my phone. Effin' traitor. As I hit save, an unknown number lights up the screen. My heart jumps. Ryder? I hesitate. What if it's Tessa trying a new angle? I answer. Hello? Miss Hart? I exhale. Isla. How are you, sweetheart? I'm good. I mean, kinda. Her voice is a mix of excitement and nerves. I've been practicing nonstop for my new school's recital. New school? Have you spoken to your dad? Yeah, I just talked to him. You mean on his real phone? Mm-hmm. So, he's home? He's on another work trip. She pauses. Why are you being weird, Miss Hart? I'm not okay. I'm glad you're all right. And that he's okay too. I should go. Wait. You promised I could ask you a favor anytime, remember? After I helped with your gala dress. I did say that. I brace myself. What do you need? Can you come to my recital tomorrow? What? Please, she pleads. I really want you there. Isla, I don't think it's a good idea. Your dad? He can't know. He wouldn't get it. Why not? It's the Mothers and Daughters Symposium. Her voice drops. I've never gone to one. Back in London, I'd always fly home to avoid them. But this time I want to go. I'll be the only girl there without a mom. Please, you can leave right after I play. I won't ask you for anything else. I don't even know if I can get there on time, I admit. I'm not in Seattle. I'd have to leave tonight. I know. There's a twinge of sadness in her voice. You're with your parents again. My dad told you that? She says nothing, and her silence says everything. I already bought your ticket, she adds, ignoring the pause. Used my emergency prepaid card. I also set up a hotel and a ride from the airport. I go quiet, caught between disbelief and admiration. She's only 8, but she plans like someone who's had to grow up twice as fast. He won't know, she says. Not until at least 2 days from now. Please, Miss Hart, please come. What piece are you playing? The Sarabandi from Bach's Partita number 2. You gonna hit the vibratos properly this time? I swear. All right, Isla. I glance at the unpacked bags still sitting on the floor from Seattle. I'll get to the airport tonight.
Episode 5. Ryder. My client posted bond 2 hours after the arrest, Miss Voss. He's met every one of your conditions. My attorney sounds just as fed up as I am. We're in a dull, government-issued interview room. Plain concrete walls, a cold metal table, and a mirror that only reflects power back to the people behind it. There's no drama here. No flickering lights. No shadows cast for effect. Just a steady hum of tension and the unshakable awareness that we're being observed. They thought they'd captured a monster. Turns out, the devil still breathes. They don't like that I slipped the leash. Not one bit. These accusations won't hold, my lawyer continues. But we're playing nice while you grasp at straws. I'd consider dropping a few charges, Voss replies, if Mr. Rochester admits to some of the others. What others? The fire, she says, clicking her pen like she's signing my confession already. Let's start there. My lawyer glances my way. I don't flinch. Mr. Rochester declines. All right. She casually flips through her folder. Then let's try another angle: counterfeiting and illegal banking. Ever enlist civilians to help with laundering fake currency? I meet her stare. No. She leans in slightly, tone all fake politeness. Let's try that again. Are you familiar with someone named Celine Hart? Never heard of her. I figured you'd say that. She fans out a series of photos across the table like they're harmless. They're not. The first hit's hard. A shot from the masquerade. We're tucked away in shadow, her body close against mine. That gown, the one that made time stutter, brushes my leg. Her mask slipped just enough to reveal her mouth, her expression tilted upward, waiting, willing. The second photo shows her eyes. I remember that look, locked in, electric, enough to haunt the dark, enough to make me want to stay in it. Next is a still from my security feed. She's arriving at my gates, driving through rain and fog, her hands white-knuckled on the wheel, determined, oblivious. But it's the last photo that stops me cold. Where the hell did they get this one? Celine, slumped in the back seat of one of my cars, soaked in blood. The night of the explosion, pale skin, lips parted. I remember. I didn't wait for backup. I pulled her out myself. That night was the first time I felt helpless in years. The night I swore I'd crush every threat around her. These are AI fakes, I say, voice flat. They've been authenticated, she replies, snapping the prints back into her folder. But go ahead, keep lying. Let's continue. Gladly. She flips another page. Should anyone be concerned that your entire family is buried in your backyard? Only if someone's planning to dig them up. I rise, pushing the chair back with a scrape. I'm done playing for today. If this goes to court, I'll show up. You won't have a say, she says coolly. It's always the ones with nothing to lose who act untouchable. I stiffen, tempted to unleash what she's owed, but I don't. See you in court, Miss Voss. I adjust my suit jacket and walk through the side exit. Chester's waiting by the car, arms crossed. So? He asks. On a scale of 1 to 10, how bad is it? 50.
Episode 6. Celine. Mom. Where are you, Celine? Me. Seattle. Quick trip for a friend. Mom. Oh, when are you back? Me. Within 12 hours. I'll be back in time for coffee and catching up. Mom. All right, sweetheart. I'll come pick you up again. I tuck my phone into my jacket pocket and glance at the Uber driver's GPS from the back seat. Isla said she had everything under control, but I'm still cautious. I can't risk seeing Ryder. Not now. Not when the echo of his last words still tightens in my chest. 17 days. That's how long it's been since I walked away. 17 days of silence. 17 days of rewinding his voice in my head until it stopped sounding like him. And the closer we get to the city, the more it feels like betrayal. Maybe not of him, but of myself. I've debated texting him, thought about calling to say, maybe we both went too far. But I didn't. I know better. I didn't overreact, and I know he didn't either. This it, miss? The driver asks, glancing back. I nod, looking out the window at Montlake Musical Academy. Purple roses climb over a trellis. A banner stretches across the front lawn. Welcome, moms. My chest tightens. I scan the lot for familiar vehicles. No sign of Ryder's men, but that doesn't mean they aren't here. Everything feels too staged, like a play dressed in flowers and deception. Inside, the hallway is quiet and polished, soft lights reflecting off clean tile. A table near the door holds name tags for the event. I grab one that says Mom of a Gifted Musician and follow the signs toward the theater. The auditorium is something out of a music lover's dream. Velvet seats, glowing wood panels, a grand stage framed by rich red curtains. But it's empty. My heartbeat echoes in the silence. I glance over my shoulder, unsure if I missed something. Then I nearly walk straight into a redhead balancing a box of donuts. "Whoa!" she laughs, steadying the box. "You okay there?" "Sorry," I say. "I thought the recital had already started." "It's in about 45 minutes. She smiles. "You're welcome to hang out or take a seat." Another staffer appears, and she disappears down the hallway. I walk to the front row. A seat is marked with a small gold placard, Isla Ivy's mother. The sight of it knocks the air from my lungs. I brush my fingers over the name like it might vanish if I press too hard, like I'm touching something sacred I was never meant to claim. More parents begin to trickle in. I finally exhale. My phone buzzes. "Isla, are you here, Miss Hart?" Me. "Yes, I promised." "Isla." XOXO. I slip out to the hallway, following signs toward the restroom. I need a mirror, a splash of cold water, something to remind me I'm real. As I round the corner, I freeze. I feel him before I see him. Then he's there, by the registration table, eyes locked on me like he never looked away. He doesn't speak, but the way he stares, God, it says too much. I almost step toward him. Almost. Instead, I turn and rush into the bathroom. I wash my face. Once, twice, count to 10. Wait until the other women leave. When I exit, he's waiting, leaning against the lockers like some memory I can't escape. "Hi, Celine," he says. "Mr. Rochester." I nod, already moving past him. "You really think I'm letting you leave without talking to me?" His voice is low, behind me now. "You should," I say. "I didn't come for you." He catches my hand. His thumb drags across my skin like he's making sure I'm not a dream. Then he pulls me gently toward an empty practice room lined with open violin cases. He lets go, but stays close. His eyes stay locked on me like gravity. I stay silent. I won't break first. Isla. Applause. Airport. That's the plan. "You haven't called," he says. "Not once." I figured that was normal after a breakup. Usually someone comes to their senses sooner, or realizes they don't want to waste years playing games with someone who always has something to hide. "You're being dramatic." "No," I say, my voice like steel. "I'm setting boundaries before I leave you. Again." He doesn't respond with words. He kisses me, and I don't stop him. His lips find mine, and we fall into a rhythm we never forgot. My hands clutch his shirt, and he groans low against my cheek. "We shouldn't," I whisper. But I'm already gone. His fingers trail up my thighs, tugging my dress higher, igniting sparks across my skin. I shiver. His touch burns, certain and reverent. I find his zipper, and he moans against my neck. His hands slide my panties aside. The brush of his knuckles makes me gasp. He kisses my jaw, my collarbone, and I'm melting. A quiet moan escapes me as he presses me against the wall. A violin case bumps my side. His hand lifts my leg. I wrap around him. Instinct. He enters me slowly, every inch deliberate. The stretch, the heat. I can barely breathe. He kisses me again, desperate, like he needs to memorize me before I disappear. We move together, wordless, like goodbye wrapped in fire. His fingers cradle my face as I cry. He kisses the tears, slow and soft, like he's never letting them go. And when we fall apart, it's silent. Final. He smooths my dress down. I press my hand against his chest, trying to memorize the beat beneath it. He lingers, holds my wrist. Then let's go, one finger at a time. I leave before either of us ruins the moment with words. Back in the theater, Isla stands at the mic, violin in hand, scanning the crowd. Her face lights up. She waves me over. "My mom can help me warm up," she says brightly. "Mr. Tate's running late." "Please?" She's already handing me a violin. It's the Harper duet. Want the sheet music? I shake my head. We played it dozens of times. I nod, tap my foot. And 1, 2, 3, 4. She plays, confident, fierce. People begin to fill the seats, thinking it's already the show, but this is just her warming up. We move through the duet in sync until she no longer needs me. I step aside and let her shine. She straightens her back and launches into her solo. Mid-performance, I glance at the back of the room. He's there. Ryder. Our eyes meet. My heart skips, but I don't miss a note. The final sound fades. Then, thunderous applause. Isla wraps her arms around me. Thank you, Miss Hart. I'm so glad you came. Anything for you, I whisper, scanning the room. He's gone.
Episode 7. Ryder, a few days later. I sit at my desk, skimming through satellite coordinates and planning the best approach to deal with rushbanks. Every scenario mapped, every exit calculated. Half my mind's on the logistics. The other half? A slow spiral of memories. I'm also absent-mindedly pushing chess pieces across a board, playing against no one. Anything to keep my mind from drifting. Anything to avoid hearing the echo of her voice when she whispered goodbye. The break in it when she said my name. The way I let her walk away. Damn it. I've always compartmentalized. Neatly stacked emotions. Shut drawers that stay locked. Kept people where I could manage them, out of reach. But Celine has become a ghost in everything. In the taste of my coffee, in the still air after I step out of the shower, in the way my hand reaches out before my brain catches up. She's soaked into the edges of my life like a watermark, silent, permanent, impossible to blot out. I knock the chessboard off the desk with a sharp shove. The pieces scatter across the floor, black and white carnage, a fitting metaphor for strategies that don't work anymore. That's when I hear it. Familiar footsteps outside the office. Come in, Isla. She walks in with a small smile, calm, unassuming. How was the mothers and daughters recital? I ask casually. You already know. I told you when you picked me up. Just thinking about it again? Any interesting guests show up? Nope, she shrugs. Unless you count Ashley Conover. She plays bass. Not many people recognized her, but I did. No one else? She shakes her head, placing her sheet music on the stand and adjusting her bow. I wait. Wait for a crack in her calm. A tell. Nothing. She's definitely mine. She plays the piece flawlessly, as always, and takes a bow when she's done. Thanks for listening, she says. Did you like it? I did. I pause. Almost as much as I liked the duet you played the other night, with Miss Hart. She freezes. The color drains from her face. Why didn't you tell me? Because I think you scared her away. Her tone turns sharp. I think you did something. So, I need you to apologize for lying. I'm not sorry. Isla, I am not sorry. Her voice rises, her chest heaving. You couldn't let me have even one friend. Just one. She was hired to be there. That was her job. I can't let this spiral into emotion. Not for either of us. She didn't quit. Her eyes narrow. Her voice slices through. She left you. I was just collateral damage. I open my mouth, ready to shut it down, but the words sink in before I can speak. She's right. The weight of it settles in my chest. Your vocabulary's improved since starting that school, I say quietly. Too bad things between us haven't. Her tone is like frost. It's already bad enough that I don't have a real family, and you won't tell me why. No matter how many times I ask. But now you've taken away the only friend I ever had. I'm not sorry, and I don't forgive you. Her words rip through the wall I've been trying to hold up since the recital. I can still see them, Celine and Isla, bowing in sync, like they belonged here, like they belonged to me. The door slams behind her, but it's her voice that stays, her anger, her truth. I still can't bring myself to tell her about her family, because I still can't face it myself. Episode 8. Ryder, several years ago. The night I lost my family. The estate's second kitchen is buried in the lowest level. Sterile tile floors, low lighting, and a calmness the main kitchen never has. It's where leftovers turn into midnight strategy sessions, and quiet meals carry heavy truths. Everyone is gathered around the long dining table. My mother weaves between us, dishing out her signature pasta, humming softly. My father's cracking jokes with my older brothers, teasing them for cutting it close. "You're lucky you're the youngest, Ryder," he says, pointing a fork at me. "By the time it's your turn to run things, I'll be too old to chase you around." Laughter erupts. Aunt Hilda squeezes my shoulder, leaning in. "Don't count on that." "Wouldn't dare," I grin. "Ryder," Mom calls. "Grab more of the Parmesan shells from the prep kitchen. I need at least 20. "Yes, ma'am." I slip out of my seat and head into the adjacent space, pushing aside trays and containers until I find the shells near the wine rack. I'm halfway through stacking them when bang, boom, bang, boom. Gunshots. Close. Rapid. Deafening. Glass shatters. Screams, raw and horrible, fill the air, the kind that only come from real terror. My brain blanks. I freeze, tray clattering against the counter. My legs finally move. I dart behind the wine rack, shove open the concealed panel, and slip into the small panic room. I barely get the hatch sealed before boots pound into the kitchen. The shooting doesn't stop. It turns rhythmic, methodical, almost rehearsed. I slap both hands over my mouth, desperate not to make a sound. "Check the kitchen," a man orders. "The rest of you, sweep the place." I want every Rochester gone, not one root left. I stay perfectly still, silent tears sliding down my face. Heavy steps enter the kitchen. Trays shift. Someone opens containers. "Parmesan shells," one voice says with mock delight. "Mama Rochester's famous for these." "Should have asked her to cook you some before you blew her head off," another replies, laughing. "Fair. I'll check outside." "No, stay here. Check every body. Make sure they're dead." "On it, boss." I lose track of time. Maybe hours. Maybe days. They don't leave the estate for 4 whole days. They eat in the same kitchen they stained with blood. Lounge by the pool. Enjoy the spa. Use the movie room. Every afternoon they walk through, surveying their handiwork, joking about how they should head out before the corpses rot too far. I have no place to sit. My back screams from standing. My breath clouds the steel walls. Sleep comes in flashes, never lasting. When I close my eyes, I see my brothers. I hear names: Joe, Harrison, Tyler, Trey, Otto, Neil, Jonathan. I don't know if they're real or aliases, but I do know who they work for. Rushbanks. The man who's been trying to dismantle my father's grip on the West Coast underground for decades. A man who waited, plotted, and finally struck. And now, I'm going to destroy every single one of them. When they finally leave, I wait. Long enough to be sure. Then I open the hatch. The hallway reeks, rot and copper. I stagger into a guest bathroom and vomit into the sink. Rinse, wash my hands twice, change clothes. The office is wrecked. Drawers ransacked. Files gone. My father's records wiped, at least the obvious ones. I don't call the police. Not yet. I video call Chester, our family's closest ally. His face lights up on the screen. Ryder, not expecting to hear from you till next week. That trip with your dad, they're dead. The smile vanishes. My father, my mother, my brothers, my aunts, everyone. They're gone. His face hardens. Show me. I walk him into the dining room. Blood stains the floor, the chairs, the walls, bodies still untouched. He doesn't ask me to go closer. Doesn't make me look at their faces again. I hid. I confess. Shame thick in my throat. I should have been with them. No. You did exactly what your father would have told you to do, he says. You lived. I don't answer. There's blood on my palms, and it's not just metaphorical. I don't feel like a survivor. I feel like a coward who waited for death and got spared. Should I call the cops? I ask. He exhales. And tell them what? What would they even do now? Silence. I'm on my way, he says, more serious now. But you need to call in the syndicates from New York and Miami. Tell them you've got a cleanup job, and remind them they don't need to throw in with rush banks. Then who do they work for? I ask. He stares straight into the camera. They work for you now. Me? What the hell am I in charge of? His voice is a finality. Everything.
Episode 9. Celine. Mint green, sage, lime. I drop a handful of styrofoam balls into their labeled bins at Hobby Lobby. I don't need this job, not financially, but the simple routine, mundane and quiet, is keeping my mind from falling apart. It gives me something steady to hold on to while I figure out what the hell comes next. Lately, life has turned into a loop I'm oddly comfortable in. Wake up, take a long walk, drive Dad's spare car to work, sit through dinner with my parents as they fill me in on years I missed, shower while replaying every time Ryder touched me because, let's not pretend, and end the night plotting how I'll deal with Tessa, then texting Isla about her day. That's the rhythm. Considering how well you were paid at your last job, I'm struggling to understand this career downgrade, Celine. His voice hits me like a punch, gravel and silk the way it always has. I freeze, I slowly turn, and there he is. Ryder. He's wearing a dark dress shirt with the sleeves rolled just enough to hint at the tension below the surface, tight in all the places that make my pulse skip. The storm he always carries looks dangerously close to breaking. His scent hits me next. Wood, spice, trouble. I take a shaky step back as he moves closer. Can I help you find something, sir? I already have. A smirk curves at the edge of his mouth. He glances over his shoulder. We need to talk. Outside. There's another associate in the garden section, I say evenly. She'd be glad to help you with whatever you need. What time do you clock out? 7, I blurt before I can stop myself. He checks his watch, nods. 40 minutes. I'll wait. I thought you didn't wait for anyone. You're the only one I ever made an exception for. His gaze travels down my body like a memory he never forgot, then he turns and walks off. I don't breathe until he disappears around the corner. Then I quietly slip off my name tag and wedge it beneath a row of yarn. Outside, an Audi flashes its lights. He steps out, opens the door, and places a hand at the small of my back as I slide in, his fingers lingering just a second too long. It's not a touch. It's a reminder. He climbs behind the wheel, starts the car, and drives off. His hand moves to my thigh, settling there with the ease of habit. My heart kicks. He doesn't speak for miles, just glances over when we hit stoplights. Quiet, watchful. It isn't until we pull into my parents' neighborhood that I realize where we're headed. He parks across from their house and finally turns toward me. "Were you ever planning to mention that you still talk to my daughter every night?" "She begged me not to," I say. "I was going to send you a card," with photos from her recital. "A card?" It sounds childish even as I say it, but that's the point. I wanted it to sting. "Yes, a card," I say coolly. "Wouldn't want you thinking I wanted you back." "Of course not." He leans in, cups my face. "Is that really how you feel?" "It's how I should feel." "Your voice doesn't agree." "Neither does your heartbeat." "That's not what I asked." "Why are you here, Ryder?" "I came to collect something." His voice drops. "Someone who belongs back in Seattle. She doesn't want what you're offering. Let her be." I pause. "She's moved on." "She better not have." His jaw tightens. "Doesn't sound like her." "She's not yours anymore." "She'll always be mine." His stare sharpens. "You seeing someone?" "No." "Good." He leans back in his seat. "W. Clara, go for one more ride before I drop you back off?" "That depends." "On where?" "Not really." He smiles. "Didn't think so." I should get out. I should slam the door and walk away. But his hand is still on my thigh, and my body's betraying me. And deep down, I don't want to leave. Episode 10, Celine. Ryder's car hums quietly across from my parents' driveway, the soft purr of the engine filling the silence between us. My hands rest in my lap, fingers twitching without pause. Across the street, my dad adjusts the straps on the back of his truck, securing the fishing boats like he's done 100 times. Mom tosses gear into the cab, double-checking her packing list. It's a scene I've seen all my life. So familiar it should feel safe. But today, it feels like I'm watching someone else's life from behind a pane of glass. "Are you going to do it?" Ryder asks. "Do what?" "Introduce me to your parents." The words steal my breath. Of all the things I expected him to say, that wasn't one of them. I glance out again. At Dad's beat-up boots. At Mom's ridiculous pink fishing gloves that she swears are lucky. They're about to leave. They won't be back until Sunday. "Did you tell them you were recovering from a breakup?" "No." "Why not?" I hesitate. I'm not sure. "So now's not a good time?" I shake my head. "It's fine." He doesn't say anything else, just gets out and walks around to my side. He takes my hand to help me out. Steady, sure. His touch grounds me. As we cross the street, the crunch of gravel underfoot makes everything feel louder, more real. My stomach knots. "This is Ryder," I say when we reach them. "My boyfriend." Mom arches an eyebrow. "So you really meant it about Adrian being gone?" "Good," Dad says, shaking Ryder's hand without missing a beat. "What do you do for work?" "I run a family business," Ryder replies, firm and direct. "Solid." Mom lingers, studying him longer than she ever bothered with Adrian. No fake smiles, no stiff posture. Her expression softens, and if I didn't know better, I'd think she was charmed. "We'll get to know you better when we're back," she says. "Looking forward to it," Ryder says smoothly. As their truck disappears down the street, I finally exhale. "Want to show me around?" he asks. "I'd like that." We wind up in my bedroom. The door shuts quietly behind us. The lavender scent is still here. The dust, too. Sunlight spills through the blinds and strips, laying gold across the same comforter I had in high school. The corkboard above my desk hasn't changed. Photos faded at the edges. Old earbuds twisted in knots. Broken key fobs tucked between pins. Ryder moves slowly, trailing his fingers along the edge of my past like it might disappear if he touches it too fast. He stops at my desk, picks up the cracked remains of my old blade and what's left of the pepper spray. This looks familiar. It should. I carried it everywhere. I just didn't realize what it really was. Go on. It was a tracker. His brow lifts. Tessa gave it to me, claimed it was for safety, but she was using it to spy on me. His mouth tugs into a smile, but it's brief. She didn't mention the FBI? You knew? I've known for a while. She's low tier, or at least she was. She might have gotten a shiny new title lately. If she's the reason anything happened to you, stop. His voice is soft. It's not on you. Being targeted comes with the territory. His phone buzzes against the nightstand. He doesn't glance at it, just presses a button and sets it face down, then removes his watch and places it beside it. Slow, intentional. A quiet message. I'm not here for anything else but you. The room hums in silence. He steps closer, sure and slow, like he already knows I'll meet him halfway. When we kiss, it's not cautious. It's charged, built from everything unsaid. His hands slide to my hips, pulling me toward him as we move through the room in sync, drawn by gravity we stopped resisting a long time ago. By the time my knees touch the bed, I've forgotten how we even got here. He starts to lift me onto him, but I place a hand on his chest. Not yet, I whisper. I push him gently back, guiding him to the mattress. His chest rises and falls with restraint. He watches, eyes dark, breath caught. I kiss down his neck, his chest, past his ribs. Lower. When I take him into my mouth, he groans, sharp and wrecked. His hands grip the bedding, then thread through my hair. But he doesn't push. He lets me lead. Slow, deep, focused. He trembles under me, unraveling inch by inch until my name falls from his lips like a prayer. When I crawl back up to him, he wastes no time, kisses me hard, flips us without effort. He lowers me to the bed, fits between my legs like we were made for this. When he's inside me, I gasp. It's not frantic. It's deep, steady, measured, like he wants to feel everything, like he needs it to mean something. Each thrust draws us closer, not just physically, emotionally, the kind of closeness that stitches wounds you didn't know were still open. I missed you, he says, voice rough. I missed you too. And I did. God, I did. When I come undone, it's like exhaling all the pain I've been carrying. He holds me through it, kisses me like he's memorizing the shape of it all. I love you, he whispers. I meet his eyes. Nothing left hidden. I love you too. And I mean every syllable. He stays for a few days. We live in a little world of our own. Waking up tangled, talking about nothing, talking about everything. He only touches his phone to speak with Isla. Nothing else. On the fourth day, he brushes my cheek with his thumb. I have to go back to Seattle. There's something I need to finish. I'd love for you to come with me, but I'll understand if you stay. Will you really? I'll pretend I do. I laugh. I want to go. How soon can you pack? Not long. I pause. But I need to deal with Tessa first. Why? She wasn't just doing her job. She was playing games once she knew about us. He tilts his head. You sure? She showed up out of nowhere. One call and she was suddenly in town. Best friend or not, it didn't track. She warned you, didn't she? She manipulated me. The binder she gave me alone. What binder? I unzip my suitcase and dig it out from beneath folded jeans. He opens it, flips through slowly, stops at the photos, his family. His jaw clenches. Hands tighten on the edge of the binder. I was feet away when it happened, he says, his voice distant. They died at our dinner table. Because of Rush Banks, the same man who tried to kill you. Something shifts in his eyes. A wall goes up, and then he tells me everything. The Parmesan shells, the hidden panel. 4 days of hell behind a steel door while the men who killed his family lived like kings in their home. That's why I need to leave, he says, holding me close. I have to finish this. I won't stop until I do. You coming with me? Or should I come back and get you later? I answer with a kiss. Celine. The quiet ding of the seatbelt sign echoes overhead as I ease into one of the leather seats aboard Ryder's jet. Outside the window, the runway glows gold beneath the last sliver of sun. Ryder stands nearby, phone to his ear, pacing slowly near the bar cart. Yes, Miss Hart is coming with me, he says, his voice low. A pause. Then a small laugh. No, she won't braid your hair tonight. Yes, you can tell her about the math competition after we land. He ends the call and sinks into the seat across from me, elbows resting on his knees, gaze fixed. Are you going to ask me anything else? He says. I tilt my head. Like what? I'm in one of those rare answer-everything moods, he says. You don't want to know how I know your ex-husband? The question lingers between us. I stare at the safety card in the seat pocket, tracing its edge. Adrian. The control, the lies, the way he made me feel small. But lately, he hasn't taken up any real space in my mind, not compared to now. I exhale. Okay, 2 things. Ryder nods. First, why were you so helpful during my divorce? Because you deserved far better. I blink. Second, if he owed you that much money, why didn't you kill him? His mouth lifts slightly, eyes warming. Because I saw you. Silence folds in. Any other questions? No, I say quietly. And I mean it. Adrian is in the past. My future is right here. Hate to break up this Hallmark interlude, Chester says, stepping onto the plane. His tone isn't its usual blade. He actually sounds respectful. We've got a window to deal with you-know-who. It's now or never, he tells Ryder. Other jets on the way. She can't come. Ryder's sigh is soft, reluctant. His eyes don't leave mine. This changes everything, he says. I'm sorry. Don't be, I tell him. I get it. He offers me a faint smile and stands. Where are those new trackers your FBI friend left behind? Chester glances over. Didn't you already handle her friend before we flew out, or did you switch plans? I'm about to handle her now, Ryder replies, gaze still on me. Celine? Where are they? Kitchen counter. Still sealed, back at my parents' place. He nods to Chester, who vanishes without another word. Ryder steps forward, gently tipping my chin. I need your help for one final job, he says. You'll benefit from it too. I arch a brow. Oh? What's the compensation package? Let's call it highly rewarding, he says with a slow smirk. Are you in? Definitely.
Episode 11, Rachel Voss. Observing Edward Rochester is like trying to chase a shadow that knows it's being followed. He moves fast, just slow enough to be spotted, never long enough to be caught. Tracking him has been nearly impossible for years, which is why his case remains stuck in purgatory at the agency. Ever since that suspicious blaze tore through his estate during one of his infamous, no-expense-spared parties, I've been piecing together fragments, bits of intel, rumors, patterns, trying to connect the dots. I've got fragments of his empire mapped, an intergenerational criminal network, cloaked in whispers, reaching up and down the West Coast. No one will speak his name, not under threat, not even with a plea deal on the table. They'd rather rot in prison for life than give up a syllable about him. He's been clean, untouchable, until Celine Hart, until now. With a case finally taking shape, I pull into the lot at Puget Sound Physical Rehab Center. I flash my badge at the front desk and head straight to room 425. Adrian Cole is perched awkwardly on a bright blue stability ball mid-exercise. Afternoon, Mr. Cole, I say. Feel like cooperating today? If I say no, do you leave or do I still get the Inquisition? Let's pretend you said yes. Save us both the time. He groans and lifts one foot. What do you want? I show him a photo of Edward Rochester. You know this man? His face drains of color. No. Lying to a federal agent isn't wise. I said I don't know him. I've seen him. Splitting hairs won't help you. I sigh. Where and why? I think my leg's cramping. Nurse? He shouts toward the hallway. I kick the ball from under him without hesitation. He topples to the ground with a grunt. Locking the door behind me, I speak calmly. You've got 5 minutes of my time. Answer or don't, but I'm not leaving until you do. He groans again and slowly props himself up. Fine. I owe him money. How much? A few million. Care to explain why? Not really. It's a personal matter. Did your ex-wife know? Is that how she got dragged into this? Dragged into what? He looks at me like I've lost my mind. Selene doesn't know the first thing about my finances, or finances in general. She probably couldn't balance a checkbook if her life depended on it. We'll come back to that insult. What else can you tell me about her? Her name's Selene Hart, correct? Yeah. What about her? Was she ever involved in anything illegal? Selene? He lets out a wheeze and starts laughing like I've delivered a stand-up routine. It goes on far too long. Mr. Cole, I need you to take this seriously. My ex-wife is the most oblivious, sheltered woman I've ever known, he says, finally catching his breath. If she's guilty of anything, it's being irritating. No memory of a legal incident in Canada when she was in high school? She stole a couple of candy bars from a souvenir shop, he says. Can you believe they kicked her out over that? I stare at him, deadpan. Honestly, Mr. Cole, it sounds like you never really knew your wife at all. You want to find someone worth questioning? He leans forward now, bitter. Go after whoever helped her during our divorce. That's the one you should be after. Do you even know who that was? I've got a good idea. Great. Then why are you still here? No more questions. I unlock the door. Thanks for the waste of time. Back in the parking lot, I sit in my car with a slow-building sense of dread. I expect games from Rochester, but the idea of being outmaneuvered by his cast-offs, unacceptable. I pound the steering wheel once before hitting my dashboard's call button. Tessa? Yes, she answers. Tell me you're still in Buffalo. I am. Good. We need your bestie to lead us to Rochester. Breakup or not, she's still the key. Where is she? I don't know if she opened the new trackers yet, but she's probably still at her parents' place. Show me. Tessa pauses before forwarding me the linked tracker feed. I scan the screen. 2 tracker signals, one circling Seattle, the other steady in Buffalo. You don't think she went back to him? I ask. Tessa's pause is long. No, I don't. Break her. Get her to flip on him. Use whatever angle you have. Right now? No, I meant next Christmas. I grit my teeth. Of course now. I may need a bit more time. Emotionally. Why? I ask flatly. You made your choice the moment you ratted her out to us. She was my best friend. And you're the reason I tested her at the masquerade. Now finish the job. Destroy the friendship you already betrayed.
Episode 12. Selene. I'm sitting in a small cafe 2 miles from the Buffalo airport. My luggage is already loaded on Ryder's jet, but I won't board until I finish this last task, until I can walk away from this chapter and never flip back a single page. Dad. Hey. Where's your stuff? Where'd you go? My thumbs hover over the keyboard for a second before I reply. Me. Ryder and I have some unfinished business in Seattle. Flying out tonight, but we'll visit soon. Dad. Promise? Me. I promise. Taking a breath, I tap Tessa's name. Hey, stranger. She answers quickly, too cheerfully. Was just thinking about you. I'm sure you were. What a coincidence. I was just thinking about you too. Everything okay? Actually, I pause. I got back together with Ryder. He explained everything, and I think I'm ready to deal with it. What? She says, voice catching. Wait, he's with you now? Not yet, but he flew in last night. I'm flying out with him shortly. Where are you? Are you home? I'll let you know if I need anything, I say flatly. I understand if you'd rather not hear from me. No, wait, just stay where you are. Please, I'm coming. Okay. I end the call and wave for another coffee. 1 hour later, Tessa bursts into the cafe. Her hair's a mess, eyes scanning fast. She spots me, rushes over. 2 men tail behind her, sitting in the far corner. A subtle nod from one of Ryder's guys tells me, Stay calm. So? Tessa says, tossing off her coat. What made you change your mind? I love him. You barely know him, Celine. Do you? Of course not. She tries to laugh it off. I don't know much, honestly. You knew exactly where I was without me saying a word. I lock eyes with her. Didn't even ask which cafe. Celine, how did you know? There are dozens of cafes between here and the airport, and this one doesn't even serve waffles. Lucky guess, she mutters. You always liked waffles. This cafe doesn't serve food, just drinks. I glance at the menu board. That's not the point. She shifts in her seat. What matters is I found you. You said he's picking you up. I stay quiet. You said he told you everything. Want to share any of it? I can run it through the database, see if it helps. Her words pour out, too fast, too forced. They've got new charges coming. Ones that'll actually stick. Once they catch him, he's done for. Really done. While she rambles, I stare at her, taking her in one last time. The girl who once tried to stop me from marrying at 18? She's gone. The woman in front of me is a stranger. It's important you tell me, Celine, she pleads. I just want to keep you safe. Really? How would you do that? I ask, sipping my coffee. You're just another civilian with access to restricted systems thanks to your dad. What exactly can you do? She freezes, unsure for the first time tonight. You don't have to answer. I reach into my pocket and pull out the unopened tracker she gave me. I set it on the table. I know who you're working for. I know how deep your lies run. Her face drains of all color. It's fine, I say coolly. I've made peace with it. And I hope whoever's listening to this hears what a backstabbing opportunist you really are. Ex-best friend, she snaps. We haven't been real friends in years. Good to know that's how you feel. I lean forward. So you used me the second I mentioned him? Where is he? She growls. Tell me where the F-uck he is. You didn't tell your superiors about this meeting, did you? I glance toward the 2 men again. Trying to snag the win for yourself? You're the last person who should talk about casualties. Her eyes narrow. You ditched everyone for a cheating asshole and then traded him in for a F-ucking mobster. Nice to know how you really feel. Tell me where he is, Celine. Admit you want the arrest credit first. I want him in prison because he belongs there. With your name in the press release. I'm just a junior agent. Until you bring him in. Her silence says it all. I finish my coffee and slide the cup across the table. He's already back in Seattle, and he said to let your boss, Miss Voss, know she'll need about a dozen ambulances at the address printed on that cup. So he's confessing to murder? No clue what he's confessing to. I stand. But I am telling you that I never want to hear from you again. Like that matters. You'll wish you had a friend when they fire you. For what? Illegal wiretapping. I point to her device. I'll be filing charges the moment I land. What are you even? Don't worry, I say. The monster you hate managed to salvage the tracker and extract proof that you spied on a private citizen with no warrant. That's a felony, right? Celine, report the address. Maybe your boss will cut you a deal.
Episode 13. Writer Rush Banks is holed up in a waterfront estate that overlooks Puget Sound. Opulent to a fault, the place is tucked into the cliffs, masked by towering stone and iron gates that look like they were stolen from a forgotten castle. It's the perfect hideout for a man like him, where he and his crew are preemptively toasting to my downfall. They forgot the most important rule my father drilled into me before I could even tie my shoes. Never celebrate before the job is done. I bring the phone to my ear. Make it look like they turned on each other once it's over. Yes, sir. Click. My pulse thrums. I count backward from 10, each number slow and steady. At 3, one of my guys steps into view from the hedgerow and gives the go-ahead. Time to collect. I get out of the car, Chester trailing behind, and walk straight for the house. Inside, the air is thick with warmth and the scent of expensive scotch. Every step toward the dining room is heavier than the last, echoing ghosts I haven't shaken since the last time I approached a table like this. One filled with people laughing before everything turned to blood. I stop just short of the door. They're all there. Rush Banks, king of rot in a pressed shirt, holds court at the head of the table. His silver-streaked hair is combed back like he's clinging to youth, and his sharp eyes cut through the flickering candlelight with all the warmth of an ice pick. Every inch of him screams power and poison. The same man who made sure I had no family left. The same bastard who spent years trying to carve my name out of every page. I check my watch, load my weapon, nod once to Chester. Then we strike. Gunfire erupts, quick, surgical, decisive. Our bullets find targets before anyone can react. It's not chaos, it's choreography. One by one, the traitors fall. Rush dives sideways, reaching for his weapon, but Chester is faster. A single shot tears through his hand, sending his gun skittering across the marble. The others don't last much longer. By the time the smoke starts to thin, only 2 of them are still breathing. Rush and the blood-soaked goon next to him. I approach without rush. I clean my gun with a cloth and lay it gently on the table, letting the sound ring like a bell. 5 minutes, I say to Chester. Give me the room. Copy that. The bodies are dragged out. The door shuts with finality. Rush is trying to sit up, one arm limp at his side. His breathing is rough, wet, but his eyes are still sharp. Edward Rochester, he rasps, didn't expect you to keep me alive this long. That makes 2 of us. He grins, teeth stained red. Took you a while to grow up, but you finally did. I'm not here for your compliments. Then finish it. I glance at the other man and put 2 bullets in his chest without blinking. Rush doesn't even flinch. Par for the course. You impressed by what you see? More than you know. Shame. I couldn't care less. I step closer, raising my gun. You shot my mother in the chest. Twice. She cried out for your name. And you ignored her. Your father offered his life to spare the rest. You didn't take it. I took everything. Because I could. Not anymore. My finger tightens, Sirens scream in the distance, growing louder. Red and blue lights begin to bleed through the drapes. Rush looks amused. You going to pull it or let them take me? Neither. You're bluffing. I want you to rot. I want you to suffer the way I did. Not for minutes, but for years. I slam the gun into his jaw, then shoot his other shoulder for good measure. He cries out, sagging against the leg of the table. The front door bursts open. Hands up! Step forward! I do exactly that. Spotlights blind me for a second before Miss Voss steps into frame, flanked by officers. Cuff him, she barks. You sure you want to do that, Agent Voss? I smile. Count on it. One officer locks my wrists behind me. You think you'll walk away from this? I prefer fly. You're looking at murder charges. Multiple. Self-defense. Everything's recorded. Trackers in my pocket. You recorded this? Let's just say Miss Hart is very thorough. Her lips press into a line. You might walk again, Mr. Rochester, she says, but one day you'll trip. And one day, I reply, you'll realize not every story ends with justice. They lead me toward the car. You didn't start that fire, did you? She asks. No. I pause. But I didn't stop it either.
Episode 14. Celine. The iron gate eases open as I guide the car up the winding path. Tall hedges frame the driveway, glowing lanterns casting warm light on the stone. The house looms ahead, lit up like a lighthouse nestled between the hills. A silent guardian. For once, it feels like I'm returning somewhere I belong. But even as the comfort settles in, a thread of unease pulls at me. Ryder hasn't called since the mission began. No updates, no confirmation. Nothing. Welcome home, Miss Hart, Gunner says, holding open the back door and offering his hand. Someone's been counting down the minutes until you got back. Just beyond him, Adele stands in the doorway, her face bright and eager. I rush to her, wrapping my arms around her small frame. I'm so glad you're back, she says. She tugs me toward the hall before I can respond. Come see the new practice room Dad had built. It's way cooler in person. With her hand in mine, she pulls me back into the life I left behind. No questions, no hesitation. Later that evening, I drape a blanket over her as she sleeps. I kiss her forehead, then quietly close the door behind me. I try calling Ryder. Straight to voicemail. My thumb lingers on the screen, unwilling to accept silence as an answer. I try again. Still nothing. A quiet panic starts to bloom. I roam the house until I find Gunner in the security wing. Evening, Miss Hart, he says. Before you ask, Mr. Rochester would rather I handle anything you might need. I just want to know where he is, I say. Is he coming back? Gunner studies me, weighing his next move. He's dealing with the feds, he says finally. Nothing new there. We wait. Wait how long? Could be a few days. Could be more. It all depends. He reaches into his pocket. He did send a message, though. Said to tell you, take care of Isla for me. 2 nights pass. I'm standing in the kitchen with Gunner, going over Isla's school drop-off schedule. He walks me through the protocol, wait for 3 guards to signal before pulling away. I jot it all down. Then the front door opens. Ryder steps in. His eyes find mine instantly. There's no smile, no nod. Just a quiet intensity. For a heartbeat, it's like nothing between us ever happened, like I'm back to being someone who merely exists in his house. He tosses his coat to Gunner and speaks without breaking eye contact. Give us the room! Gunner disappears and silence follows. Ryder doesn't move. So? I ask. So what? I wrapped up my part with Tessa. I know. Did you finish yours? Yes. Are you going to tell me what it cost to get it done? He doesn't answer. Instead, he closes the distance in 3 strides and pulls me against him. My back hits the wall and his lips crush mine. It's all hunger and relief, like he's trying to imprint this moment on his soul. His hand slides beneath my shirt, fingertips burning across my skin. His other arm braces near my head as he deepens the kiss, moving from my lips to my neck and back again. When he finally breaks the contact, he presses his forehead to mine. His breath comes hard. His voice is frayed. "It's over," he says. "It's finally F-ucking over."
Episode 14.1. Rider, the next morning. "Miss Hart, ride in the back with me," Isla calls out as she holds open the rear door of the car. She's ready earlier than usual, eager for school like it's a holiday. "She'll ride in the back when I pick you up later," I tell her. This morning, she's sitting up front. "Okay, fine." Selena subtly adjusts her shirt collar, concealing the evidence of last night's hunger. Then she slips into the seat beside me. As I drive, I reach over and rest my hand on hers over the gear shift. For a moment, the world quiets. Her presence calms the chaos. Isla hums softly in the back seat. The rhythm of the morning is almost domestic. I could get used to this. "Are you still my nanny, Miss Hart?" Isla's voice breaks the silence. "Or just my dad's girlfriend now?" Christ, Isla. I glance at her in the rearview mirror, giving her a look. She returns it without hesitation. "I'm just here," Selena says, turning around to smile at her. "No labels needed." "But you're not leaving me again, right?" "No, Adele," she assures her. "I'm not going anywhere." Good. Isla leans back, already onto her next mission. "Can you convince my dad to take us somewhere this weekend? Like the mall or just out?" She says it like I'm not right here driving the damn car. "I'll do my best," Celine says, barely suppressing a laugh. Isla pulls out her violin, cradling it with ease. She's been practicing more, without my pushing. She just plays, like now, as we head toward the school. Golden sunlight streams through the windshield. Her music fills the car, soft, steady, Rachelful. The scent of Celine's perfume lingers in the air, blending into everything, including me. "Speaking of that," Celine says over the swell of symphony number 7. "Is going out in public still off limits? Or is that changing now?" "You'll always have someone keeping an eye on you," I reply. "But yes, you can go places." Her shoulders relax, and for once, I feel the tight knot in my chest ease. When we arrive at the school's entrance, Isla carefully packs away her violin, leans forward, and kisses my cheek. Then she gives one to Celine. "Bye," she chirps, darting away with her backpack bouncing behind her. "What made you let her stay in Seattle instead of sending her away again?" Celine asks, watching her go. "You." "Me?" "I'd already let you walk away once," I say, cupping her face. "When Isla started crying on the plane before takeoff, I knew I couldn't lose either of you." "You're starting to sound a little scary," she teases. "This emotional side of you is a bit much." "Don't worry," I say. "It'll vanish as soon as we get home. We've got a lot of time to make up for." "You mean talking?" "Only if you want me to talk while I'm inside you." I kiss her like I'm claiming her all over again. Like this morning, this life, is something I'll fight to the end to keep. And maybe it is. Though I doubt you'll have the energy to speak.
Episode 15. Celine. A few months later. Living at the estate feels like the fresh start I didn't realize I needed. For once, no one's expecting anything from me. I'm not working under Ryder or answering to anyone else. My days drift between music, building instruments for our personal use, and writing for myself. I finally have space to figure out what comes next, on my own terms. Most of my time is spent with Isla. Nights are for Ryder, and every other weekend I board a flight home to see my parents, slowly repairing the bonds I let fray. I thought tonight would be for Isla. I had plans to show her, again, how to restring the violin she keeps snapping. But when I returned from the store, I found a note waiting for me instead. We need to talk. Ryder. On the back. An address and a time. 8 p.m. tonight. The room glows with low candlelight, casting flickers across the dark stone walls of Ryder's private sushi restaurant at the pier. It's just the two of us. The plates have been cleared, the champagne poured, soft music floating in the background. But he hasn't said a word. Not since I sat down. Just quiet sips of his drink and the occasional gesture to refill his glass. His eyes barely leave mine. I mentally scroll through reasons for this setup. No upcoming birthdays. Isla's symphony invite, maybe? But she's not here. Can you talk already? I say. You're freaking me out. Are you happy? Right now? Not particularly. I smile, trying to ease the tension. I would be if you told me everything's fine. Everything? He repeats, returning my smile with one that instantly unsettles me in the best way. Business-wise, I'm short about $400,000 on a deal, and a couple idiots are trying to walk off without paying. Also, the feds are still hoping something will stick. You could always just turn yourself in and confess to it all, I tease. Save yourself the stress. I'm not stressed in the slightest. He chuckles, then reaches across the table, brushing his fingers gently over mine. Be honest with me, Celine, he says, voice low. Are you really happy? Yes, I nod, holding his gaze. And you? More than I've been in years. He pauses. But you need to hear this. Just because I've handled rush banks and tied up loose ends, that doesn't mean someone else won't take their shot. There's always someone out there gunning for the king. He takes a slow breath. This life, this world, is all I've known. Even if I pull back, restructure things, keep it cleaner and at a distance, I'll still belong to it, and it's all I have to give. What are you saying? I'm not asking you to sugarcoat it, he says, but I'll give you what I can. The dates, the quiet, whatever parts of this that make it livable for you, even if the danger never goes away. Can you live with that? It's been months, Ryder. I'm still here. I keep my voice calm. But I wish you hadn't waited so long to tell me everything. Would you have stayed if I had? I hesitate. Probably not. Didn't think so, he says. So, on a scale of 1 to 10, how tempted are you to leave if the next threat rolls around? -50. That answer softens something in him. Just for a second. Then, the waiter rolls over a silver cart and sets down 2 bowls, one in front of each of us. This is for the lady, he says, placing a frosted bowl in front of me. I blink. I didn't order this. I glance down, and that's when I see it. A sparkle glinting just beneath the pale green sorbet. Diamonds. I lied when I said the last job was the final one, Ryder says, moving closer to my side. I need you to say yes to one more. I can't speak. I'll say what you're thinking, he continues, taking a spoon and pressing it into the dessert. The diamond ring lifts free like a secret finally revealed. This feels fast. You've still got scars. You're not sure you can give any more love away unless it's forever. You want to be sure this isn't just another version of a game. I shake my head, swallowing the emotion rising in my throat. That's not what I was going to say. He lifts my hand, slides the ring onto my finger. My chest feels like it might split open, full of fire, full of fear, full of yes. What were you going to say, Celine? Yes.